Hey everybody, so the biggest move of all the wild ones today was definitely the Marc-Andre Fleury trade, and this was something else. This was not expected. We all knew that Vegas needed cap space, but to trade the reigning Vezina trophy winning goaltender and your franchise goalie for basically nothing was not exactly what most of us had in mind. And then also all the stuff that came out about Fleury not knowing about it and finding out he was traded through Twitter and all the sideshow stuff that came along with this really ended up being a pretty bad look for the Vegas Golden Knights. So we'll get into it here. All in all, Marc-Andre Fleury was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for minor league forward Mikael Hakkarainen, and he is a career minor leaguer, 23 years old, split last year between the ECHL and AHL, doesn't look like a guy that's ever going to be an NHL player. And then Chicago gets Marc-Andre Fleury, like the Marc-Andre Fleury. And this was definitely a little surprising. We knew that Vegas needed cap space. They are in cap hell right now. They needed to dump salary. We even knew that it was likely one of their goaltenders that was going to get traded. They couldn't afford to have Robin Lehner at $5 million per season and Marc-Andre Fleury at $7 million per season and have $12 million in cap space locked up between their goalies. That wasn't sustainable for Vegas. What we did not expect, however, is that Fleury would get traded for basically nothing to a non-contending, non-playoff team in the Chicago Blackhawks. And then on top of all of that, apparently, Marc-Andre Fleury found out he was traded via Twitter. Not a call from the general manager, nothing from the team. He saw it on Twitter, which obviously makes Vegas look really, really bad in that situation. That's just disrespectful. That's disrespectful to any player. Never mind a franchise guy, one of the most liked and well-respected players in the NHL. He's been in the league almost 20 years now. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup winner. He just won the Vezina Trophy for your team, and you couldn't even be bothered to tell him that you were going to, where he was going, that you were trading him today, any of that. Now, Kelly McCrimmon in Vegas has come out and said that they've been in constant contact with Fleury. Fleury knew that Chicago was a team interested. So, obviously, there's a little bit of a back and forth here now between Fleury's agent and the team about how it all actually went down. But nonetheless, it's not a great look for the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a Vezina winning goaltender. Literally just this past season. It's not like he won a Vezina 10 years ago and is on the downswing of his career and is on the way out. He just won the Vezina Trophy this past season. He was one of the best goaltenders in the league. And to just dump him off to a non-contending team like Chicago and to do it in the fashion that Vegas did it just isn't a good look for the Golden Knights as an organization and their treatment of veteran players with regards to this. And the other thing is, Marc-Andre Fleury may not even play for the Chicago Blackhawks. He is contemplating retirement. He hasn't decided if he wants to actually play in Chicago or not. He has 1 year left on his deal for $7 million this year. Obviously, that is a lot of money to just walk away from. But when you're a 3-time Stanley Cup champion and a guy who's already made a substantial amount of money in the NHL throughout his career, Fleury's in a position to where if he doesn't want to go to Chicago, he can just say, yeah, I'm sorry, but that's a no from me. And just retire, essentially, and that would be it. We don't know what's going to happen. As of now, he hasn't decided, but on the other hand, Chicago, this is a really interesting move for the Chicago Blackhawks. What do they think that they're contenders all of a sudden? This is a team that last offseason openly admitted that they were rebuilding and told their fans that they were rebuilding. And now this offseason, they massively overpay for a right-shot veteran defenseman in Seth Jones. Then they sign him presumably to a massive $9.5 million per season contract, which he's not even remotely worth. And then they go out and trade for Marc-Andre Fleury. Now, they gave up nothing in the Marc-Andre Fleury trade, so why not? But the point is that they're going out and getting a 36, 37-year-old goaltender like all of a sudden they're in win-now mode. Seth Jones and Marc-Andre Fleury, or no Seth Jones or Marc-Andre Fleury, Chicago is still not a contending team. So I really don't know what they're going for here. They should have just stayed the course with the rebuild and gotten some young talent in there. But it seems like Bowman's completely 180'd on his offseason philosophy, and they're going into win-now mode. But if they're in win-now mode and trying to contend, why would they not qualify Pius Suter, who had 27 points for them last season and had a phenomenal year as a rookie forward for them? And then they don't even offer him a contract in restricted free agency and just let him go to unrestricted free agency. That makes absolutely zero sense for a team that apparently thinks that they're a playoff team now. I mean, obviously, in this particular move, I understand that for Chicago, there's literally nothing to lose here. So it's not that doesn't make sense, but their overall off-season direction has me very, very confused. It seems like all of a sudden now they think that they're a contending team. I don't think they are. Even with Seth Jones, even with Marc-Andre Fleury, Chicago is not a contending team. They're in a very difficult Central Division with teams like Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, Winnipeg. Those four teams all made the playoffs last year. Dallas is going to be looking to bounce back. Nashville is in the Central, and they made the playoffs last season. Like, you're in a very difficult division. You weren't a playoff team last year, and I don't think that the addition of Seth Jones, I mean, I could talk endlessly about how awful that Seth Jones trade and contract is, but that doesn't make you a playoff team. And now adding a Marc-Andre Fleury, is it an upgrade in net? Absolutely, if he even plays. But is it enough to make a team that was, probably not even that close to being a playoff team? A playoff team? No. I don't think Chicago's making the playoffs this year. So why would Marc-Andre Fleury want to play for that? I don't know what. I am confused by Chicago's overall direction here. That is the biggest thing. I don't really know what they're trying to do this offseason, but I can't see them being better than the Avalanche, the Blues, the Wild, the Jets. I don't think they're going to be better than the Jets. I don't think they're going to be better than Nashville. So, I mean, you're already looking at being out of the playoffs at that point. So, I don't know what's going on here with Chicago, but this was a very weird deal. Chicago, I mean, like I said, they have nothing to lose in making it. If Marc-Andre Fleury plays, that's a big upgrading goal for the Blackhawks. I don't think it's enough to drastically change the season outcome, but it's a big upgrading goal, no doubt about it. And if he doesn't play, they're right where they were. Chicago didn't lose anything. So there's nothing to lose here for them. For Vegas, obviously they needed cap space. They wanted that $7 million off the books, but it's overall a pretty bad look for the Golden Knights to dump off your franchise goalie for literally almost nothing for an ECHL player, and then, basically not give him the deserved respect on the way out either. So this was just a really weird trade. Today's been a wild day. This is definitely the weirdest of it all, the wildest of it all. But Marc-Andre Fleury apparently now is a Chicago Blackhawk, and we will see if he plays this coming season or if he says that's enough for me and decides to retire. and not play for Chicago, but we'll have to find that out in the future. But with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon, merchandise store, donation link, and channel memberships down in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.